Direct and be prepared for any emergency before it happens. To take advantage of this special, call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Okay, look, it's so elementary and so simple that Ron Paul is being cheated that I've gotten so angry today that I have hardly been able to talk. I rarely stumble about, and I've done that some today because it's so ridiculous to watch the entire establishment running scared from Ron Paul. I know we got a bunch of callers, Robert, Barry, TJ, Jim, Carol, Troy, Benjamin, Jerry, Will, Chase, Kathy, Brian. I will get to every single one of you. Luke Radowski's just popping in for 5-6 minutes with an update on the arrest at Wall Street, the demonstrations there. Popping in for about 5 minutes the next segment, just back from Colorado with a martial law drill is Aaron Dykes. He's going to pop in and then back to your calls. Now, I say if you disagree, go to the head of the line if you volunteer that information. The problem is most people that disagree now don't really disagree. They use it as an excuse to go to the head of the line. Or they want to lecture me on how I should do the show or something. I mean disagree with something I've said. But let's see if Carl does, because that actually gets me to wake up when somebody disagrees. Carl in Michigan, you're on the air. Go ahead.
I want to say thanks for taking my call. And yes, I have 3 points of disagreement, but I must admit they are more about the delivery of your content
they always
than the
are.
content itself.
You know, I don't want to talk about me all day, though. I mean, that's the issue.
One of my ideas can help Ron Paul get elected.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the first one is Alex Jones. You mentioned before that you turned down publishing deals because you don't have the time, and you can reach more people over the Internet. I believe that's true. But we need to get the reading public on our side, and here's an easy way to get your message to them. Transcribed broadcast. Create a series of books with titles like Conversations with Ron Paul, Alex Jones, The Essential Rants, Alex Jones, The Essential Interviews, that sort of thing. I think that could really get your word out with a minimum time investment and increase the revenue to your operation.
Yeah, I think the thing is I want to write like some awesome 1984 nonfiction tome and really crystallize it and then really get behind it and not just churn out pulp. But you're right. I should do it. I should do more. And I should call back all these publishers that are calling me. But, and hell, if that little turkey, Glenn Beck, Mr. Pro Bailout, Mr. Pro Rick Perry can have his own imprint, I sure should. I dwarf him on the web, and the web is the future. Tell me what else I've done wrong here or other. That's not really disagreeing, Carl.
All right, well, I apologize if I'm wasting your time, but I feel these ideas...
You're not wasting my time. They're great ideas. What's next?
All right, well, I believe the true measure of a leader is the influence they have on others. And while I know you have great influence over some, in the end, I believe that you scare more people into merely observing the truth rather than influence them to take actions that will lead to the restoration of freedom and liberty. I
disagree. I've been the most effective person out there other than Ron Paul. Nobody can deny that. And I'm not trying to scare folks. I believe people aren't cowards. I'm trying to shock them out of complacency in their trance.
Oh, and I agree that you have been very influential in the alternative news media, but I feel that you do come across very tough to some people. And I'm not saying you change who you are, because you are who you are, and that's impossible to change, and you have made great strides because you stand firm on your principles. But what I really disagree with is something called the Losada zone. That it pretty much is a term derived from a psychologist who said that for every one negative interaction, you need 3 positive interactions.
Hey, hold on one second.
Yes.
There's music playing in here. And earlier music just turned off. Okay, just, sir, go ahead.
Okay, well, a psychologist named Losada did research showing that for every one negative remark, you need 3 positive remarks to really allow a human to flourish in a team environment. And you want your listeners to be part of the team for freedom that promotes ideas of liberty and justice. And I feel that, for every 1 positive remark, you have 3 negative remarks.
All right, listen, I got to go, but I heard your points, and it's good constructive criticism. Look, I don't have the time and the energy to sit here and craft everything I say and do. Some days it's genius. Other days, it's moderately effective. Anything in the face of this dehumanization is good. Resistance is victory. But I see it as positive to say negative things about the globalist. So you're looking at things from a 2-dimensional perspective. Telling somebody, hey, there's a big ditch over there, don't run your car off in it, that's positive, it's not negative. Hi, folks, this is Alex Jones. I'm looking for people that have the wisdom to spot savings, opportunity, and recognize risk. Saving means to make money. The Cal-Ben Pure Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated and twice as good as what you're using now. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils that contain no useless dyes, perfumes, deodorants, or antibacterials. Your risk is the hundreds of hazardous toxic detergents that give you rashes, itching sores, and deteriorating clothing called lint. If you want something better, if you want something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. Getting a free catalog is easy by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. Take charge of your health now by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com.
Mainstream media, government cover-ups.
Let me at him!
Answers? Well, so does he. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
All right, here's the deal. I got Aaron in here to give us a report on a big martial law financial collapse drill they just had out in Denver. I had our reporters there. I got Luke Radowski popping in about arrest on Wall Street, but I want to get to your calls. Robert Berry, everybody else that's holding, we're going to get to you. Well, here in about a minute or two, I want to play a clip that I've been mentioning of Ron Paul. This is in the last debate, being asked who he would take as his running mate. And he was saying, well, once he is a first or second place candidate, that he would do that he is in third place. And that's a very moderate conservative statement by Ron Paul. He is third place, probably second. And Rick Perry, as the Miami Herald points out, is plunging as people learn he worked for Al Gore, campaigned for Hillary Care, forced inoculations. But Romney is exactly the same. These are globalist, socialist, corporate cronyites, because the corporations want to pool your money so they can then suck it offshore. And if you idiot Republicans vote for Mitt Romney or Rick Perry, you get what you deserve. Just like you idiot Democrats. Of course the economy didn't get better with Obama. Of course the wars continued. Of course the torture continued. Of course the spying continued. Of course all of the insider garbage. Look at who financed him. Look at how the system supported Obama. When the system, like Time Magazine, is supporting somebody like Rick Perry, look out. When they're lying and deceiving and pulling polls and saying somebody can't win, that's who you go to. It's so simple, it makes me get very angry. And you don't want to see me when I'm angry. Let's go ahead and go to this Ron Paul clip. Here it is.
I don't plan to make a choice at the moment because I am on national polls. It seems like I'm in third place now. I think it would be inappropriate. As soon as I'm one of the 2 top tier, then I will start thinking along that line. But right now, I'm going to defer and just work very hard and make sure that I stay in the top tier and then eventually be one of the top 2 contenders.
Texas Congressman Ron Paul. He joins me now. How are you, Congressman?
That's enough.
The last time you ducked me,
You know, I've had a chance to talk to Ron Paul quite a bit off the record before, and when he was first going to run, I said, look, sir, you probably won't win this first time, but you can probably win the second time, and you know you're going to influence the debate and warn people about currency devaluation and everything else. We need you to get in there to keep putting heat on the Federal Reserve. And he said, no, you're probably right. I'm probably going to run. And then, of course, I didn't say anything for a few months knowing he was going to run. And it's the same thing before this last race. I don't ever try to call Ron Paul up and give him advice, but I think I am. And it's this. He needs to get up at the next debate and say, hold on a minute, and hold up a sheet and say, the average candidate was given 10 minutes in the last debate. I was given 4 minutes. I've been given the least amount of time in every debate. And the moderators are saying that in the question. Say, listen, I know you got an agenda. Give me the floor. And I know Ron Paul can get angry, because I've seen it before. Okay, it's always the nice guy that's being real friendly. That's because they're actually a Tyrannosaurus. Only guy on the congressional baseball team to ever knock out a home run. You saw when that Barra Sasha Cohen went after him, Ron Paul, basically slapped him upside the head, pushed him out of the way. Ron Paul is a nice guy because he's aggressive. It's aggressive people have trained themselves to be friendly. But he needs to turn loose and open up a can of you-know-what. He needs to say, listen, I've been given less time than everybody else up here. I've won most of the straw polls. I've come in first, second, and third in all the scientific polls, but everybody says I can't win. That's because I'm the only one up here not bought and paid for. I'm not a globalist whore. You want America back. You want the republic back. Vote for me and stop letting the controlled media tell you who's going to win. And I'm going to go further here and then just basically lay out the facts. And he needs to get aggressive and say, I have been in the top tier since the beginning. The top 3 is the top tier. I actually have to disagree with Ron Paul. This thing about I'd be in the first or second tier. You're definitely in the top tier. The top tier is the top 3 candidates. First, second, and third place. That's how any game, any race works. The top 3 are the main contenders. The top 3 teams in the NBA, the NFL, the National Baseball League. That's how it works in horse racing. And for them to say that a top contender is not a contender is a rigged game out in the open, and he should instantly surge to #1 just by evidence of that. If you people want the same thing over and over again, vote for Mitt Romney, Rick Perry, or Barack Obama. A bunch of slick guys in fancy suits reading off teleprompters. All right, I'm going to shut up. I'm just getting angry now. Rick Perry. 81% of the new jobs, illegal aliens. Yeah, I guess you did bring some jobs here. You drove down the wages while you were here and passed a bunch of new taxes so you can give it to the illegal aliens and free welfare, you piece of trash. I just can't handle it anymore. Some dirty Hillary supporter, some dirty Obama supporter, dirty Bill Clinton supporter, Al Gore supporter. I can't handle it. Mitt Romney supports carbon taxes? I'm so sick of the fact that I spend all my time being informed. Other people aren't informed. I had Lord Monckton on a week ago. Great guy. But he was like, well, once the Democrats heard I was here to debate Al Gore, they said I couldn't speak or Gore wouldn't speak, and they put Newt Gingrich in instead. He did a pretty good job. Newt Gingrich does TV ads supporting carbon taxes and global warming with, who's he do it with? I forget. Pull up the, go to YouTube. Newt Gingrich does global warming ad. I think it's Hillary Clinton he's sitting there with. The point is, he wrote the foreword to Alvin and Heidi Toffler's book calling for the end of America and global government. I'm sick of it. He's a Bilderberg Group member. You don't get invited to the Bilderberg Group unless you've shown you'll spread your legs to any New World Order operative politically. It's with Pelosi. Show the stinking video. Then I'll go to the calls and Aaron, or maybe I won't. I'm just getting more and more wound up here. If I have to look, it's one thing if you're going to support carbon taxes like that swollen con artist Al Gore. That's one thing. But to have this entire Republican leadership being crammed down our throats, supporting carbon taxes, NAFTA highways, forced inoculations, socialist health care, and I got to sit here and watch national radio host endorsing Mitt Romney, you people make me want to vomit. Your listeners are idiots. What is wrong with you? You said you found the clip? Here is Newt Gingrich with Nancy Pelosi. I said Hillary, another hag, but here it is.